Hey guys, we're back. It's Monday, and we are going to continue our novel study of Wonderstruck. So, last week we were introduced to Ben through the beginning of the story with pictures and then text. Ben is a boy who lives in Gunflint Lake, Michigan, which is the setting that we were introduced to in 1977. He is living with his aunt and his uncle, as well as his cousins, because his mother died tragically in a car accident that summer. And we left off with Ben's aunt and uncle arguing over how they were going to afford to live without selling his house. So they're thinking about selling it, and Ben's, wondering who really owns a house. He never really thought about whether or not they would have to sell it or not whenever his mom died, okay? All right, so today we know we're going to have another setting, so I want you to turn the page. We're starting on page 28. This is the graphic novel portion. And we are starting our new setting in Hoboken, New Jersey, October 1927. Now, I know some of you have a book and some of you don't, so I'm going to readjust my computer. And I am going to be going through this with you in case you don't have your book, okay? All right. First page. See a picture of a woman in black and white. She has a rose in her hat. Behind her looks like maybe it's a poster. It kind of reminds me of those old silent movies, possibly. We know in our setting it talked about silent movies. All right. We're zooming out, opposite of the wolves. Lillian Mayhew. It goes on to talk about how, I'm going to read it to you real quick on the bottom. It says, then your eyes regret the first time she biggest stars today. And you'll see that a lot of times whenever it has like a poster with text right there or something in the pictures, it won't tell you everything, but it'll give you some keywords. So always read these right here. All right, so Lillian Mayhew, she's a star. It says stars up here, and there look like stars behind her. So maybe she's a movie star in a movie. Next page. We now see today's stars, Lillian Mayhew, and it has pictures surrounding. There's a postcard over here, and I'm going to read it to you in a moment. Then underneath, there's a picture of a baby. Children cries for Kester, Mama Kester. And then on the top over here, it says Movie Star Magazine, 1927, October, and it's being ripped out. Okay, now I'm going to read to you what the postcard right here says. It says, February 1927, Happy Birthday, Rose, Love, Walter. Miss Rose Kincaid, 168 River Street, Hoboken, New Jersey. On this side where it has a picture of the baby, mother, and then it has text I can't read, Lillian Mayhew, and it has pictures all over. So now we know that she definitely is a movie star, okay? Next page. The person tearing it out looks to be a girl. She also has a rose in her hair. Interesting, similar to the picture of Lillian. All right, New York, there's a postcard, and she's got some what appears to be pictures of skyscrapers, maybe from New York. And then, actually, not maybe, definitely, because that one looks kind of like this one out of her window. We know from our setting video that Hoboken, New Jersey is across the Hudson River from New York City. So she's right on the river in her house. And she's tearing out that picture. Maybe that's Rose Kincaid. Ooh, and in her room or wherever she is, maybe it's her office, she's got a bunch of models of skyscrapers in New York City. That kind of looks like Lillian, doesn't it? You think? I think that looks like Lillian. Right? She's got the cathedral that's in New York City. Wow, I wonder if she made all of this. And that's her house. It appears to be her room on the top of a 3-story home. So it's very nice. She must have a lot of money. New York City in the background. The Hudson River right here. Someone's in a car pulling up. Wonder. Looks like they're wearing a hat. And 27, probably a man. Men used to wear hats a lot outdoors. Like wide-brimmed hats. Pulled up. What does she look like up here? Can you see her expression? Let me see if I can. Oops. She's in the top room. She's looking down. I don't see any positive or negative expression yet, but she's looking down for sure. Ah, she looks concerned. She look concerned, do you think? I think she kind of looks concerned. Let's see. Oh no, she is writing help on paper. So that kind of makes me think she's concerned for sure. Writing help. I wonder if she's writing it for that person to get her out of her home, or if she's going to try to give it to someone because that person's driving up. Okay. He is holding something. Looks maybe like a book or a package. She's walking up to the front door. Knocking on the door, and there's something written on the book. What's written on the book? It says teaching. Maybe he's a teacher. Ah. He's knocking on the door. His fist, a close-up. You'll notice that the illustrations have a lot of close-ups and then zoom outs. Ah, now we're in text again, okay? So I'm going to read it to you. We're on page 56. Let's see. Ben leaned against Robbie's windowsill until it made a red line across his chest. He watched the clouds roll in. He thought about the time when the aurora borealis, the northern lights, appeared in the night sky. Everyone along the lake would call one another, no matter what time it was, so they could watch the strange, shimmering curtains vibrating above them. Even though his mom had quit smoking 2 summers ago, Ben vividly remembered the smell of her cigarette as she stood outside. She had crossed her arms and blow the smoke outside of her mouth. When the air was cold enough, Ben would cross his arms and blow his foggy breath out the side of his mouth as well, which always made her laugh. Then she would open her jacket so Ben could stand inside with her. And for hours they would stare heavenward at the beautiful colors in the sky. A sudden streak of light interrupted Ben's memory. Wide-eyed, he'd watched from the ledge of Robbie's window as a shooting star blazed between the clouds and disappeared. He made a wish about his mom, one that he knew would never come true. Ben hadn't realized how tightly he'd been gripping the seashell turtle until he felt it digging into his skin. He almost cried out, but he caught himself, not wanting to wake up Robbie again. That's when Ben noticed something very strange. In the black silhouette of his house, 83 steps away, a light had come on. The curtains in his mom's room glowed a bright yellow. Ben stared in disbelief. Feeling dizzy, he placed the turtle in the box, locked it, and tucked it back under the cot. His heart was pounding as he put on an old tank top and slid into his sneakers without bothering to lace them up. He grabbed the red flashlight and slipped silently out of his cousin's house. All right, now we're back to pictures. So let me reverse my camera. She is running away. That took an abrupt turn. So who we think is most likely Rose is climbing out of her window with what looks like either a book or that note that she wrote. Does it help? Uh-oh. So maybe she needs help to get away from that guy. All right, she's climbing down the tree and about to jump down. Holding the help note, we see clear enough. And now she's running away from the house. It says help me now, so she's added the me to it. Help me. See, it's close up. She's running. And now we're back to Ben. This is going to happen a lot. All right, we're going to stop actually on 68. All right, so we're stopping with who we think is Rose, our new character. And notice the illustrations are mainly about Rose and the text is mainly about Ben. And I love that about this book. So they're only going to tell us stuff about Ben in the beginning of the book through the words, and they're only going to tell us Rose's story through the pictures so far, okay? So now that we've read this together, I need you to go to the next slide down, and I want you to answer the 2 questions that are basic questions about Rose's life, similarly to how we did Ben's. And then you're going to click on the following slide after that, And it's going to ask you about comparing and contrasting two things that we've read about in this novel, okay? Once you complete those two, you'll meet me back on a video on Tuesday, and I'll walk you through the next section of our novel. It was great reading to you guys. See you tomorrow.